G'day guys, Corey Hind. I hope you are well. I want to give you guys a short-ish lesson in how to do keyword research for beginners. Well, this is the way I do it, and I think you guys should look at various ways to do keyword research because you want to get it right. But this is a method that I use and recommend and thought I could teach you pretty quickly. And one of the things with this method is there's no costs involved. So I'm trying to teach you a method which doesn't involve any expensive paid tools. I will show you one of my paid tools, which isn't super expensive, called Mangles later. But for the most part, this is a free process, and it's really important because keyword research is something you should think about a lot. So why do we do keyword research? So in terms of SEO and ranking on Google, it's really important to understand the goals. What are you trying to rank for and why? It's really important to know that because we want to attract the right people. So if you look at point number 2, we want to win the right traffic, not the wrong traffic. Okay, well, first of all, we want to rank on Google because we know that page 1 of Google is where all the search traffic goes. And we know because we're smart business people that aside from people asking, hey, who do you use for that thing, Google is the second thing. So people need to rank on Google on page 1. Okay, now a quick analogy I came up with, which I guess is kind of relevant. You don't want a piano buyer in your guitar shop. So if you're selling guitars, you want guitar buyers to find your business. You don't want piano buyers to find your business. Well, even worse, you don't want people looking for a mechanic to find your business. So understanding the words you want to rank on Google for, it's quite important. You probably have a fair handle on what people will search for, but I wanted to teach you this method. Now, a couple of things, guys. Do subscribe to the channel. Please hit that button so you subscribe to my channel. And also, if you want more help with this sort of stuff, I am reopening my marketing coaching group pretty soon, so we can work through things like this together and apply lessons like this directly to your business so that you get the results, the traffic, the people, the growth that you're looking for. Because at the end of the day, all of this stuff, we only do it because it's an effective method to grow our business. So that's something that I want to teach you guys. So we know that we want the right buyers to find our business. We know that we want the right people to find our website. So let's move on to the first actual step. Okay, so I'm just going to shrink my head there so we don't take up all the room. So the first step is a bullseye phrase. I talk about a bullseye phrase. Other people call it a seed phrase, or the main thing you want to rank on Google for. You probably know what this is. For example, personal trainer Tauranga. If you're a personal trainer in Tauranga, it's pretty likely that you know people will pop in personal trainer Tauranga and you'll see a page like this. You're going to have results. Okay, you're going to have some Google My Business results. You're going to have a little map. You're going to have people also ask. We'll talk about that in a moment. You're going to have some actual results too, which is nifty because that's what we're trying to do. Okay, so you probably know what your bullseye phrase is, the thing that people that you want are most likely to use. So I always recommend you go and ask some of your best customers this. Okay, ask your really good customers, the ones you want more of, what did you search for on Google? What exactly were the phrases you searched for? Okay, because you want to match up your keywords with, again, the right people, not the wrong people. You don't want people, for example, personal trainer Tauranga, you don't want people who are just looking for a free diet plan or cheap supplements or free workouts. You want people actually searching for your business. Okay, now if we go back to the Google search engine page, we will see I usually keep some paper next to my laptop as I do this process, and I just start to note down words, phrases, thoughts, ideas in a bit of a mind map. Okay, so I put my seed or bullseye in the middle, and I build a bit of a mind map as I go to come back to, because as you jump around the place, different keywords will pop up. Okay, some people go full on and they will create a spreadsheet. They'll put all the phrases in there. They'll look for the search volume, the keyword difficulty, the cost of spend if it's an ad campaign. So there's a lot of things you can do. But if we go here, Google is a great tool, gives us some really good bits of advice. People also ask. These might be some things to note. How much does a personal trainer cost? So people are looking for that. Okay, so people also ask is a fantastic resource. when you're looking at keyword research. It's Google telling you this is what you need to do. Okay, so pay attention to that box right there. It's really important. At the bottom is, as we go past the results, so we get to the very bottom and we've got related searches. Okay, so related searches is another thing that Google is telling you explicitly you should build content for this stuff here. Okay, now at the very bottom there's next. Who goes to page 2? Not many people. So we know that probably, I think the last stat I saw was 92% of the search traffic goes to page 1. Okay, so we want to be there. It's a really important place to be. The next thing I would do when just doing some general research on your bullseye phrase and just getting some ideas for other bucket phrases, which we'll talk about next, is I add the keywords everywhere Chrome extension. So if we go back here, you'll see on the side I've got this, let's move my head again. I've got this little thing down the side called, it's a Chrome extension. Okay, so there's lots of Chrome extensions. There's some amazing Chrome extensions. This one will spit out some ideas. Now you can pay for it and it'll give you more data, but this is just a really cool little thing that they do. They just throw up some of the actual phrases that are related. And again, I will put those on my little list next to my laptop. This one is interesting because it's telling us, I'd say that Rock Cliff Coaching is a specific business that people search for, as is Club Fit, okay, as probably is MMA Greerton, but there's some more general terms that seem to be suggested by these guys. So Group Fitness Total, I definitely think about that. Okay, so that tool is quite nifty and something I suggest that you consider popping on to your suite of products you use. It's free. So go to get that Chrome extension. It's called Keywords Everywhere. Okay, so that's step one. Kind of the middle of the mind map is what's the main phrase, bullseye phrase, key phrase I'm trying to win. Okay, step two is to come up with some buckets or topics. So some related phrases where we can funnel our content to dominate. So if I look at this image here, okay, so if I was to use personal training tauranga, you might have that as your keyword phrase up there. That's number one, okay, personal trainer. The next one might be some buckets. I call them topic buckets. It might be weight loss, it might be strength gain, it might be women's fitness. Three topics that are related to your business. Then you get to level 3 where you're creating content on those topics. So if it was women's fat loss, for example, you might then talk about some more specific phrases and questions that people are asking in that area as pages or bits of content on there that come up that chain and link back to your key phrase. Okay, so what I do is I sit there and I list out a bunch of related topics to the key topic, and then I start to think about what questions do people ask in relation to that topic. So if it was, let's use another one for one of my clients, maybe Wellington painting. Okay, you've got a client who's a Wellington painter. Maybe you'd start preparing content based on prepping a house for painting, or maintaining a roof, or maintaining external paint, or sanding, prepping, all those types of things. Just look at the questions people might ask. Usually, if you can come up with 3 or 4 of these, that's great, because I think it's manageable. So you might have a bullseye phrase, let's say digital marketing. Then you might have some key areas like SEO, ads, social media. Then you'll have questions and topics around those. You might have underneath SEO, you might have keywords, and then some articles about keywords that all come back up the chain to help you win your key phrase. Okay, so come up with a few questions or articles you can prepare for those subtopics that feed up to the big topics that feed up. I hope that makes sense, but that's literally how I do it. If I don't use a cascading diagram like that for people, I'll literally use a mind map with the key phrase in the middle, and using lines, I will link things together, and then I'll move on to the next step. Okay, so the next step is step 3, which is relevance and volume. So this is really important because we want to create a topic which is going to move the needle for us quickly. We want to make sure that the topics are relevant to our ideal customer and our bullseye phrase. And then we want to also make sure that people are searching for that stuff. Okay, so again, I wanted to keep this video as a free tutorial. So I found, I think, the best freebie for you, which is a SEMrush. So SEMrush is a very expensive SEO tool, but there's a free version that you can use for up to 10 searches per day. So semrush.com/analytics/keyword magic. Now, when you go to that, and I've got an example of that over here. So my client is a painter in Wellington. And if you look at this, we're just trying to understand the relevance of some of the phrases. So painters Wellington, there's the volume. It's just an arbitrary number, but Painters Wellington has a lot more search traffic than House Painters Wellington, which has a lot more traffic than House Painters in Wellington. So it gives you an idea of the volume. Okay. Now I also like over here, it gives you some results data, but it also gives you a heads up on how difficult it is to win that phrase, and that's very important. So when you pay an SEO person like myself, we'll do this research and figure out, okay, personal trainer Tauranga, not that hard to win, and what are some other phrases that might be even easier to win so we can start to rank on page one for relevant stuff, which will push the overall website up. We need to understand that the phrases are relevant to our business, and also there are people searching for those phrases so that we can get some traffic to our website and get some leads to our business. Because again, right at the start of this, we talked about you don't want piano buyers in your guitar shop. Okay, now that SEMrush tool is really cool. There are other ones around. I have a paid version, a paid tool called Mangools, Mangools, which is my paid thing. So if I look at my painting client, let's pop that over there. This tells me, again, the search, this is where it's interesting. So this tells me how the rankings are going, and they're going really well because I know what I'm doing. But look at the search volume for Painters Wellington. That's where the magic is there. I've got another client who's in the gym game in Auckland. We're looking to win small phrases like Gym Ponsonby, Group Fitness Ponsonby, but the big bickies are Gyms Auckland, a lot more search traffic, but also a lot more competitive. So over time, we're trying to chip away at that as well. I have another client who is a Wellington mortgage broker. So mortgage broker NZ is a big phrase with lots of traffic and lots of competition, but Wellington mortgage broker is much easier to win, and we're already on page one there. So understanding the relevance and volume of the phrases is really important. Run some possible bullseyes through that SEMrush free version, and then if you've got a Google Ads account, you can also use Google Trends and Google Keyword Planner. I won't cover those now, but they'll help you understand more about the relevance and the volume of that traffic, and that's really important stuff to know because we don't want to spend our time building content that's not relevant and doesn't have traffic. Okay, going to move on to page step 4, which is to get busy. Okay, at this point, you probably have done enough to know what you want to win for on Google and some related phrases around that, which will help you as well. So you have to start building content. Okay, this is really important because a lot of people research and forget to do. We have to now do the work. And then we also must start tracking our results. So Google Analytics and Google Search Console are things that you should have access to. I'm not going to cover them here because it's beyond the scope of this video, but you need to have access to these things so you know how your traffic is going, which pages are ranking, which words are starting to get traffic to your site. Okay, you can also use a free tool that I suggest called serprobot.com. If you look at that URL there, serprobot.com/serpcheck.php, you can pop your website in there and look at some key phrases, and it will tell you where you rank on Google, and that's really useful. Okay, so that process is literally the process I will use when I'm starting out. I try to get my head around the key things we're trying to win on Google. I'm trying to get my head around what our best customers are searching for. I'm trying to understand more and more about what people are searching for, what problems they have, what questions they're trying to answer. I'm trying to get my head around what content I can create to match up with that, and then I start to track it. And then over time, once I've got some data behind me, I will then sometimes kill off some pages. Sometimes I'll start again. Sometimes I will double down on an existing page to improve it, add more images, add videos, etc., to enhance it. And this goes on and on and on because, as we know, the entire game is based on I want to win on Google. I want to get on page one for my key phrases so I get all that free traffic. Okay, so it's about a 15-minute video. I do this sort of stuff with my clients and with my members. So if you need more help, feel free to reach out. If you have questions on this video in particular, pop them in the comments and I'll answer them. Okay, I will. Make sure you subscribe to the video as well. And if you've got any questions or suggestions for upcoming videos, feel free to pop those in the comments as well, because I'm trying to do a educational lesson like this every single week, and the only things that people want and will benefit from. Okay, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got something out of it, and we'll talk again soon. Cheers, guys. Bye for now.